It was supposed to be the happiest day of Marcus Thompson's life, but instead, the 18-year-old was sitting alone on a bus stop bench in East Cleveland at 2:30 p.m. on a Tuesday, still wearing his cap and gown, tears streaming down his face. Katt Williams had just finished his show the night before at the Agora Theater and was heading to Cleveland Hopkins Airport when something made him tell his driver to pull over. There, across the street from Martin Luther King Jr. High School, sat this young man in graduation attire, looking completely devastated. "That don't look right," Katt muttered to himself, stepping out of the black SUV. His driver, Jerome, looked concerned. "Mr. Williams, we got a flight to catch. The plane can wait." "That young man can't." "Hey, young king," Katt called out as he approached Marcus. "You good?" Marcus looked up, his eyes red and puffy. When he recognized the comedian, his expression shifted from surprise to embarrassment. "Oh man, you're Katt Williams. I'm sorry, I'm having the worst day of my life. In a cap and gown, on graduation day? Talk to me." Katt sat down on the bench beside him, ignoring the fact that his expensive suit was about to touch the grimy bus stop seat. Marcus wiped his nose with the sleeve of his gown. "I was supposed to graduate today. Been looking forward to it for years. My mom died 3 years ago, and she always said education was the only way out of here. I worked 3 jobs to pay for school, kept my grades up, did everything right. So what happened? Turns out I'm short 3 credits. Some clerical error that nobody caught until this morning. They handed me an empty diploma cover and told me I can't walk with my class. I have to take summer school." Marcus laughed bitterly. "You know what that means? I lose my job at the warehouse because I can't work full-time anymore. I lose my apartment. Everything I worked for, gone." Katt was quiet for a moment, processing the injustice of it all. Here was a young man who had done everything society asked of him, and bureaucratic incompetence had derailed his life. "Where's your graduation ceremony?" Katt asked. "It's happening right now, in the gym." "Why?" "Because you're going to graduate today." Katt stood up and straightened his jacket. "Come on." "What? No, I can't. They already said." "Marcus, right? Let me tell you something about bureaucracy. It's just people making decisions, and people can change their minds, especially when they're motivated properly." They walked across the street to the school, Marcus trailing nervously behind Katt. The security guard at the front door looked puzzled as the famous comedian and the tearful graduate approached. "Excuse me, sir. The graduation ceremony is in progress. No visitors allowed right now." "I understand," Katt said with his most charming smile, "but I need to speak with your principal about this young man. It's urgent." Inside the gym, Principal Patricia Davis was watching the ceremony from the side when a staff member whispered in her ear, "Katt Williams is here, the comedian. What does he want?" 2 minutes later, she was face to face with both Katt and Marcus in the hallway outside the gym. "Mr. Williams, this is an honor, but I'm confused. What can I do for you?" "Principal Davis, this young man was supposed to graduate today. Marcus Thompson. Tell me his story." Marcus reluctantly explained the situation again. Principal Davis sighed. "Marcus is a wonderful student, but the rules are clear. He's missing 3 credits due to a scheduling error that wasn't caught in time. I wish I could help." But you can," Katt interrupted. "You're the principal. You have discretionary power." "I'm sorry, but I can't just change graduation requirements." Katt looked through the small window into the gym, where hundreds of families were watching their children receive diplomas. "Principal Davis, can I ask you something? Why did you become an educator?" The question caught her off guard. I wanted to make a difference in young people's lives." "And Marcus, has he made a difference here?" She looked at Marcus, who was staring at the floor. "Marcus is one of our best students. Despite working multiple jobs and facing tremendous hardships, he maintained a 3P. He tutored other students, volunteered for school events. So the only thing standing between this young man and his future is 3 credits that he should have been enrolled in, but wasn't due to someone else's mistake." "Well, when you put it that way, I do put it that way. Principal Davis, I see a lot of young people in my line of work. Some are looking for shortcuts. Some are looking for handouts. Marcus isn't either of those things. He's looking for what he earned." The principal was silent for a long moment, the sounds of the graduation ceremony echoing from the gym. There might be a way, she said slowly. We have an accelerated credit program for exceptional circumstances. If Marcus can complete the coursework over the summer and pass comprehensive exams, I could approve his graduation retroactively. But that still means he can't walk today, Marcus said, dejected. Actually, Principal Davis continued, there is one other option. If we had a guest speaker who could deliver a message that meets our community service and life skills curriculum standards, and if Marcus assisted with that presentation, it could count as an independent study project worth 3 credits. Katt grinned. Are you asking me to give a graduation speech, Principal Davis? I would you, only if Marcus here introduces me. 20 minutes later, Marcus Thompson found himself standing at the podium in front of 400 graduates and their families, his hands shaking as he held the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, he began, his voice cracking slightly. Due to an unexpected turn of events, we have a special guest speaker today. Please welcome comedian and philanthropist, Katt Williams. The gym erupted in surprised applause and cheers as Katt took the stage. But instead of launching into jokes, he did something no one expected. Graduates, families, educators, Katt began, his voice carrying across the packed gymnasium. I wasn't supposed to be here today. I was supposed to be on a plane to my next show. But sometimes life interrupts our plans for a reason. He gestured to Marcus, who was standing to the side, still in disbelief. Today I met a young man who represents everything that's right about this generation. Marcus Thompson worked 3 jobs to put himself through school. He maintained honor roll status while facing challenges that would break most adults. He did everything society asked him to do, and then bureaucracy almost stole his moment. The audience was completely silent, hanging on every word. But here's what I learned from Marcus today. Resilience isn't about avoiding obstacles. It's about what you do when obstacles try to define your worth. Marcus could have given up. He could have gotten angry. Instead, he sat on that bus stop crying because he cared so much about his education and his future. Katt's voice grew stronger. Class of 2024, you're going to face moments when life doesn't go according to plan. When systems fail you, when people disappoint you, when your best efforts don't seem to be enough. In those moments, I want you to remember Marcus Thompson. He turned to Marcus. Young king, come up here. Marcus nervously joined Katt at the podium. Marcus, your mother would be proud, not just because you're graduating today, but because of who you've become in the process. You didn't just earn a diploma, you earned something more valuable, character. Principal Davis took the microphone. Marcus Thompson, by the power vested in me by the Cleveland Municipal School District, and in recognition of your academic excellence and demonstration of leadership during today's special presentation, I hereby confer upon you your diploma with full honor. The gym exploded in applause as Marcus received his actual diploma, tears streaming down his face. But the story doesn't end there. After the ceremony, Katt approached Marcus privately. That job you were worried about losing? Don't worry about it. I'm starting a scholarship foundation, and I need someone with your work ethic to help run it. You interested in a job that lets you keep going to school? 6 months later, the Marcus Thompson Educational Foundation had helped 50 students avoid the same bureaucratic pitfalls that almost derailed Marcus's graduation. Marcus himself was thriving in his new role while pursuing his business degree. But the most beautiful part of the story came during Katt's next Cleveland show. In the middle of his set, he spotted a familiar face in the front row. Ladies and gentlemen, Katt announced to the sold-out crowd, I want you to meet my friend Marcus Thompson, college student, foundation manager, and the young man who taught me that sometimes the plane can wait. Marcus stood up and waved to the crowd, no longer the broken teenager crying at a bus stop, but a confident young man who had learned that setbacks are just setups for comeback.